Hello boys and girls, Steve Fletcher here and welcome to the Everything Guide to Learning Guitar. Before we get started, can I ask you please to like this video, subscribe to my YouTube page, make sure that little notification bell is engaged and really help me grow my online business. Now if you are already a student of mine, either with private lessons, school lessons or Zoom lessons, then you will get the accompanying sheets to all these videos automatically alongside your lessons. If you're just watching me on YouTube, hello out there in internet land, then you will need to download the accompanying sheets from my website. The link is down there in the description. It's quite important that you do get those accompanying sheets because there's stuff that's going to be going on that you will just need to have that visual aid alongside the video. Okay, so we're entering the section where we start learning about the notes on the guitar. Up until now, hopefully, and fingers crossed, you've gone through and accomplished section 1, which was the first chords, section 2, which was where we added strumming, section 3, which is where we changed chords weirdly, and section 4, which is the bar chords. And in that 4 sections of learning, you've learned an enormous amount of stuff. You've done really, really well. You've learned an insane amount of chords, an insane amount of songs, a great amount of strumming patterns and stuff, and just really have solidified your technique as a beginner. What we're going to be doing now is not really following section 1, 2, 3, 4 path. You can now just pick and choose where you want to go with any of these videos. And of course, you don't have to do any of these videos that I'm doing as part of my learning. What we're going to be trying to do more and more is just do the videos almost like standalone lessons that you can just dip in and out of to your heart's content. All right, so what we're doing today is we're carrying on this idea of learning where all the notes are on the guitar neck. Another really effective way of learning where the notes are on the neck, especially on those low E and A strings, is to dive into moving your bar chords around. Now you've already done the 4 main bar chord shapes. We've got this one, which in this position is your F, and then your F minor by taking off that second finger. We've also got the B flat and the B flat minor shapes. Now those shapes that you learned there, they are only F and F minor and B flat minor because of where they are. What we have in bar chord moving, and you'll learn this when you get into the further bar chords section, what you have is this idea of the same shape moving and giving you a different chord because of the notes that are under your fingers. In particularly, what I want you to focus on is, of course, the root notes of each of those chords, because this is what we're doing, is trying to learn where those root notes are. Now, I will just sort of whiz through what all those chords are on there. I'm not expecting you to remember it all straight away. And when, you note I said when, if you get into that further bar chord section, you'll really see how we've positioned some of these chord changes so you can properly learn where they are. You don't have to, but I really do wish that you would go into that further bar chord section, because it is for this reason alone, is it's just going to really start to help solidify those chord positions and, more importantly, the note positions on your guitar. Now, we did sort of touch on this idea of moving these bar chords around a little bit in the bar chord section. When we did Go Your Own Way, we had a little look at moving that B flat shape forward to your C, which can tie in quite nicely with that idea of, you know, the C chord root note. There it is, and there it is again for the C root note of the C bar chord. It's the same note because it is actually the same chord. We also looked in Nights on Broadway, we looked on how we can do the F to the G minor to the A chord there. So you can really start to see how those shapes that you've learnt stay the same, but the name of the chord changes. And this is unique to bar chords. You know, when you learn a G and a D and a C and an A and an E and all the others, you learnt the shape. So you're now in that stage where I say to you, play me a C and a G and a D and an E and a C, and you just go to them. With your bar chords, you're not learning the shape, because the shape stays the same. You've got your choice of that one, that one, that one, or that one. But it's where it is that you have to learn. You know, so if someone says to you, can you play me a C sharp minor? You can. It's just a case of saying, right, okay, well, I need that minor shape. So there's the minor shape, although this is F. And what you need to do is then change that root note to being your C sharp. Now, in this instance, you've actually got one right here on your neck. So it's that same shape, but we've moved it to where the C sharp lives. And this is very high, so you might find yourself, well, hang on a minute, I don't really want to play it that high. Is there an alternative? Yes, there is. There is a C sharp right there on the 4th fret of your A string, so you could go to there. Oh, it was minor, wasn't it? So you'd make the minor chord shape from that C sharp there. And it's that idea that continues. You know, so you've got F, F minor, you know, but it's this root note here that's going to name your chord. So, you know, if I go up, if I do the sharps, you go F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, and so on. You know, on this string, if we do, let's do the flats on this one. So if you've got B flat, B, C, C flat, D, D flat, E, F, and so on. That's how that works. And of course, you're looking at where that root note is to know what chord you're playing. And also, don't forget, as a little addendum, when we did all your E chords and your A chords, we also looked at the 7 versions of these. You know, we had the E. We first did the E7 when we were learning our strumming, and the E7 was simply taking off that 3rd finger there. So we can then apply that to your bar chords. So there is the F, which, as you know from when we learnt it, it features that E chord shape moved forward, but it's the same theory for both. So if we then take off that same note, which in this instance is actually held on by your 4th finger, there you now have the F7. And if I then also take off that 2nd finger to make it the minor, that gives you the F minor 7. So that's instantly expanded your chord vocabulary there. Same thing applies with the A string shape chord. So when we did A, taking off that 2nd finger gave you that A7. We also did the A minor 7, which was taken off. And actually, if you look at it closely, it reveals the open G string for both of those. There's the open G and the A minor 7. So there's B flat. If I do the same thing, if I do the proper way, what it would be is taking off that 3rd finger. That feels weird. So I'm actually going to swap the 2nd and the 3rd finger. That gives you the B flat 7. And if we then make that minor, that gives you B flat minor 7. And then all the rest in between. So you could now potentially, you know, I use it as an example a lot, but someone could say to you, can you play me a C sharp minor 7? Well, yes, you can. I mean, you're using that shape you've just done for B flat. C sharp would be on that 4th fret of that A string. So you would just move the shape forward. And there would be a C sharp minor 7. So you might be thinking to yourself about this, is okay, it's all very well and good learning where the root notes are of my bar chords, but surely that's just going to help me learn where the notes are for the bottom E and the A strings. Well, yes, it is. You're absolutely right. However, going into the next video, we talk about these little things called octaves, and that will help expand from those 2 strings that we've just discussed into the rest of the strings. So don't worry, that little blank will be filled in. Okay, so thanks for watching, and join me over on the next video where we're going to continue this idea of where all the notes are on the guitar.